Akashvani presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sarabjit Kaur. The headlines. International Day of Yoga being celebrated across the globe today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lead celebrations at United Nations headquarters in New York. White House says India will be a critical strategic partner for United States in coming decades. India has more promise than any other large country, says Tesla CEO Elon Musk after meeting PM Modi. EPFO adds 17,20,000 net members in April this year. Indian men's football team to take on Pakistan in SAFF Championship 2023 in Bengaluru this evening. And top Indian shuttlers HS Prannoy and Parupalli Kashyap to be in action at Taipei Open Badminton tournament in Taiwan. The International Day of Yoga is being celebrated across the globe today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lead celebrations at United Nations headquarters in New York, US. More than 180 countries are expected to join to show their commitment towards yoga. In a video message, Prime Minister exuded pride that yoga has become a global spirit and said that yoga spread across the world is a message of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam.
आप सभी देशवासियों को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। हर वर्ष योग दिवस के अवसर पर मैं किसी न किसी आयोजन में आप सभी के बीच उपस्थित रहता हूं। आप सबके साथ मिलकर के योग करने का आनंद भी यादगार रहता है, लेकिन इस बार विभिन्न दायित्वों की वजह से मैं अमेरिका में हूं। इसलिए आप सभी से वीडियो संदेश के माध्यम से जुड़ रहा हूं। साथियों, भले मैं आपके बीच योग नहीं कर पा रहा हूं, लेकिन योग करने के कार्यक्रम से भाग नहीं रहा हूं और इसलिए आज शाम को भारतीय समय के अनुसार शाम 5:30 बजे करीब यूएन के मुख्यालय में जो विशाल मात्रा में योग कार्यक्रम हो रहा है, मैं उसमें शामिल होऊंगा। भारत के आह्वान पर दुनिया के 180 से ज्यादा देशों का एक साथ आना ऐतिहासिक है, अभूतपूर्व है।
National level celebrations of International Day of Yoga was led by Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar at Jabalpur in Madhya Pradesh. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Dhankar stressed the need for yoga in everyone's life.
विश्व के सबसे बड़े प्रजातंत्र के प्रधानमंत्री ने विश्व पटल पर एक प्रयास किया। दुनिया के सबसे बड़े और जीवंत लोकतंत्र के प्रधानमंत्री ने संयुक्त राष्ट्र महासभा में कहा, आई कोट, योग हमारी पुरातन पारंपरिक अमूल्य देन है भारतीय संस्कृति की। योग मन व शरीर, विचार व कर्म, संयम व उपलब्धि की एकात्मता तथा मानव व प्रकृति के बीच संबंध का मूर्त रूप है।
On this occasion, Governor of Madhya Pradesh, Mangubhai Chhaganbhai Patel, Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Union Minister of Ayush, Sarbanand Sonowal, and several state dignitaries were present. About 15,000 people participated in the main event. The International Day of Yoga strives to increase awareness about the benefits of yoga practice and to inspire people all over the world to live a healthy lifestyle. It emphasizes the importance of physical and mental well-being and the role of yoga in achieving that balance. A report from our correspondent.
The theme of International Yoga Day 2023 is Yoga for Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which beautifully captures India's shared aspiration for one earth, one family and one future. This year, the 9th International Day of Yoga is being celebrated and grand celebrations have been organized across India and abroad as well. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar led the national celebration of International Day of Yoga in Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh. Many union ministers attended International Yoga Day celebrations in Delhi and many other cities in India. This year, International Day of Yoga witnessing unique features like Ocean Ring of Yoga, where Indian Navy and merchant ships organizing common yoga protocol demonstration at a port and vessels of the friendly countries in different oceans. discussions. Yoga from Arctic to Antarctica is another feature in which common yoga protocol is being organized in countries falling in and around prime meridian line besides UN member countries. Yoga on North Pole and South Pole regions is being held in coordination with Ministry of Earth Sciences at Himadri, the Indian research base in Arctic, and Bharti, the Indian research base in Antarctica. Under Yoga Bharatmala, Indian Armed Forces made a chain of yoga demonstration in unison. Yoga Sagarmala witnessed yoga along the Indian coastline. Anupam Mishra, Akashvani News, Delhi.
Prime Minister Modi arrived in New York last night on the first leg of his 5-day visit to the United States and Egypt. He received a grand welcome on his arrival at the airport, with members of the Indian community cheerfully welcoming him with slogans. Members of the Indian diaspora also gave him a rousing welcome at the hotel with the chants of Vande Mataram and Bharat Mata Ki Jai. Many of them also interacted with Mr. Modi and asked him for autographs. Prime Minister kick-started his visit with a warm discussion with distinguished mathematical statistician, public intellectual and author, Professor Nassim Nicholas Taleb. He lauded Professor Taleb's contribution in bringing complex ideas of risk and fragility in popular conversations. He highlighted India's growing startup ecosystem and the risk-taking abilities of India's young entrepreneurs. Following the meeting, Mr. Taleb commended India for its response to COVID and how India has very efficiently dealt with it.
I connect with His Excellency the Prime Minister. We sat down, he mentioned anti-fragile, we spoke about bouncing back from adversity, and we spoke about central risk-taking. So it was wonderful. And I also commended India on the response to COVID and how, India was very efficiently dealt with it, particularly with the food distribution and all of that.
Prime Minister also held a conversation with acclaimed Buddhist scholar and author Padma Shri Bob Thurman. They exchanged perspectives on how Buddhist values can act as guiding light for finding solutions to global challenges. They also discussed India's Buddhist Connect and efforts being made by India for preservation of Buddhist heritage. Mr. Modi also met investor, author and co-founder of hedge fund Bridgewater Associates, Ray Dalio. He highlighted reforms undertaken by the government to foster economic growth, including reduction of compliances and decriminalization of large number of legal provisions. He invited Mr. Dalio for further investing in India. After meeting the Prime Minister, Mr. Dalio said India's potential is enormous. He said India and Mr. Modi are at a juncture in which a lot of opportunities will be created. Mr. Modi also met Tesla Motor CEO Elon Musk. Mr. Musk said he is excited about the future of India and added that India has more promise than any other large country in the world. He said he is a fan of Mr. Modi and he plans to visit India next year.
He really wants to do the right thing for India. He wants to be open, he wants to be supportive of new companies, and obviously, but at the same time, make sure it accrues to India's advantage, which is obviously, that's the job. I'm saying I am a fan of Modi, so I have to say that.
Prime Minister also exchanged views with eminent economist and Nobel laureate Professor Paul Romer. The discussions touched upon India's digital journey, including the use of Aadhaar and innovative tools like DigiLocker. The talks also covered various initiatives being undertaken by India for urban development. Mr. Modi interacted with celebrated U.S. astrophysicist, author and science communicator Neil deGrasse Tyson. They exchanged views on inculcating scientific temperament among youth. They also discussed at length India's rapid progress in space sector, including various space exploration missions being undertaken by India. Prime Minister also interacted with a group of eminent U.S. academics hailing from diverse fields of agriculture, marketing, engineering, health, science and technology. The talks focused on possibilities of enhancing research collaborations and two-way academic exchanges under India's new education policy. Academics also shared perspectives and experiences from their respective areas of expertise. Tomorrow, Mr. Modi will receive a ceremonial welcome at the White House in Washington and hold talks with President Biden to continue their high-level dialogue. The U.S. President and First Lady will host a state dinner in honor of the Prime Minister in the evening. Prime Minister Modi will also address a joint sitting of the U.S. Congress. Prime Minister will be jointly hosted at a luncheon by U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris and Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Friday. Earlier in his departure statement, the Prime Minister said India-US ties are multifaceted with deepening engagements across sectors. He said US is India's largest trade partner in goods and services, with close collaboration in science and technology, education, health, defense and security fields. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Welcome back. The White House said India will be a critical strategic partner for the US in the coming decades. US National Security Council Coordinator for Strategic Communications, NSCCSC, John Kirby said Prime Minister Narendra Modi's state visit to the country will affirm the deep and close partnership between the two nations. Mr. Kirby said India's growing commitment to playing a more engaged international role, including in the Indo-Pacific Quad, demonstrates a new and growing willingness to join the United States to protect and advance a shared vision of a free, open and rules-based global order. He said that building resilient supply chains for clean energy technologies, semiconductors and other critical and emerging technology, countering climate change and food security, there is no partner more consequential than India. The Employees Provident Fund Organization has said that EPFO has added 17,20,000 net members in April this year as compared to the net addition of 13,40,000 members during March 2023. Out of 17,20,000 members, around 8,47,000 new members have come under Social Security coverage of EPFO for the first time. Among the newly joined members, the age group of 18 to 25 years constitutes 54.15% of the total new members added during the month. In sports news now, Indian men's football team will take on Pakistan in SAFF Championship 2023 at the Sri Kantirava Stadium in Bengaluru this evening. The match will start at 7:30 p.m. The 8 teams which are taking part in the 14th edition of the SAFF Championship have been divided into 2 groups. Top Indian shuttlers HS Prannoy and Parupalli Kashyap will be in action at the Taipei Open 2023 BWF Super 300 tournament in Taiwan today. World number 9 and Malaysia Masters champion Prannoy will play against Taipei qualifier Lee Yoon Sing, while former Commonwealth Games champion Parupalli Kashyap will face German qualifier Samuel Sion in the first round. In the absence of former champion Saina Nehwal, India's challenge in women's singles will be carried by Akarshi Kashyap, Tanya Hemant, Gade Rathuvika Shivani. And now for a look at today's newspapers, it's over to Renu Kataria.
Thank you, Sarabjit. Pictures of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's rousing welcome in New York are splashed across newspapers. The Hindustan Times front page headline reads, Defense Tech in Focus as Modi begins key US visit. The Business Standard takes note, India's entry into a critical mineral alliance on table. Stunning yoga mats adorned with motifs, Ayush Min rolls out hand-woven tribal mats on Yoga Day, writes the pioneer. Braving sweltering heat and humidity, lags strong Puri to witness Rath Yatra, informs the Statesman. Blowing hot and cold, mercury crossed 40 degrees Celsius on just 18 days this summer, writes the Times of India. And finally, in an era where digital is the buzzword, book club that brings readers together to read in silence, notes the Indian Express. And with that, it's back to you, Sarabjit.
Thank you, Renu. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. International Day of Yoga being celebrated across the globe today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lead celebrations at United Nations headquarters in New York. White House says India will be a critical strategic partner for United States in coming decades. India has more promise than any other large country, says Tesla CEO Elon Musk after meeting PM Modi. EPFO adds 17,20,000 net members in April this year. Indian men's football team to take on Pakistan in SAFF Championship 2023 in Bengaluru this evening, and top Indian shuttlers HS Prannoy and Parupalli Kashyap to be in action at Taipei Open Badminton tournament in Taiwan. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.